Happy Monday, everybody. What's going on? So, it's been one heck of a ride on this weekend. And yeah, as you see over here, my headset is sporadically. I have yet to fully fix this problem with my recording apparatus, whatever. Technical difficulties aside, I hope everybody's great because we got some news today. Now, oftentimes, I have come out against the Sikh cult, the turban wearing, children molesting, secretive society that, like, in all honesty, we gotta, like, break bread and realize, like, one thing. Like, yes, Muslims will, like, especially when you're dealing with the terrorist element. Yeah, this is going to be going on an ongoing thing. So apologies. It's one of those things where even though you can blame a lot of Muslims for this, like, whole issue, the thing that I want to get across is we would not this problem if the secrecy. I'm just going to switch off my headset. Okay. The secrecy of the grooming gangs wasn't maintained by the Sikhs. And we're seeing Sikh bodyguards, Sikh security guards, Sikh police officers, Sikhs in the military. I think one of the Secretary of Defense or whatever in Canada is a Sikh. And this is a pretty big point of contention because what we're seeing is an unfiltered version of their society. This is how they live. This is how they react and, like, behave in their country of origin. The reason why car insurance is so high in Brampton is because these retards are given driver's licenses and nobody asks, are they criminally sane enough to drive a car? Are they, respectful and, like, do they feel like the gravity of their situation? You know what I mean? And people could say whatever they want about the whole immigration fiasco and stuff, like the whole stress of, like, coming to live in another person's country and stuff. Well, like, I just got by seeing this news segment, and I think I saw it maybe Friday or Saturday, and I didn't want to talk about it until now. And you want to know why I want to talk about it? Uh, we got a bunch of misogyny from men. You know, a lot of guys, they're not going to be successful in life. They're not going to find love naturally. They need their parents to figure that out for them. And when that is not the case, well, I present two completely separate scenarios. Okay? So, let's leave this topic behind for just a moment. And let's go briefly over the whole, I forgot his name, but it was this young underage gentleman who stabbed a 71-year-old grandmother, right? Now, I am subscribed to this channel that is local to Ontario, Toronto, Ontario, called We Love Hip Hop, right? And wow, they got the news. I suggest you go watch their video on it. It's a little difficult of a topic, but if I were to briefly go over it, it shows the very same person who committed this heinous crime not only admitting to it, like, after the fact, like he was I don't know if he was in her car while he was recording it, or like it was just, something like some other vehicle or whatever, right? And then, like, he's talking about, like, what he did. But I think, like, the biggest red flag for me, at least, was when I saw him getting smacked in high school. Now, you're probably asking, how did you see that? Well, somebody filmed themselves smacking him. Like, let me say it again. They were holding their phone, right, in high school, which is, normal because, it's a thing now. And he smacks this kid. and he's still holding the phone. And I'm like wondering to myself, aren't you gonna fight back? Aren't you gonna do anything? Say something? Like at the very least, right? Like if he's like older than you or whatever, let's call the principal, rat him out, be a snitch. It's okay, man. It's okay. Like you're getting fucking smacked for whatever reason. Like, was there a good reason to hit him? Was there a not a good reason? I don't know. He doesn't exactly seem like the most pleasant individual, but like, I point this out not necessarily as an action reaction cause and effect, but it's like it makes a whole lot more sense when you see the context of that video when you're trying to like understand the demeanor of this kid, like why what led him to make that decision. It's a very poor, bad decision in his life, right? And I bring this up because uh, do I blame the parents? Do I blame his siblings if he has any? Do I blame his friends? Do I blame this school? To an extent. But what about the individual, right? Nobody really like told him to do that. And going over the reasons as to why this kid would want or think he would need to do something like this, well, the obvious answer was get a gun. Maybe he wanted to get a gun. And the way you do that is by proving yourself with criminal actions, with, I don't know, like something that will prove your, trustworthiness to the unseen. Okay? Now, that's in the past. He's, whatever. He's charged. He's a goner, pretty much, right? But this incident, downtown Toronto. So they say that these Punjabis, right? Because the guys in the passenger seat got turban and shit. And like from a brown guy like me, the reason how I can tell like right away, it's because it's like they used like a very specific type of skin lightening method, and it leaves this like after a while this ghostly impression on them, where they look East Asian, despite the fact that they come from a more arid, you know, dry, right climate, like the desert, right, where it's like you're beating down with the sun and people are very much dark skinned, right? So when you reverse that, when you take it away, it's like you don't look light skinned, you look like you lack pigment. And that's what it looks like. You can see like these very ghostly white, Indian looking people, right? They got the dark hair, whatever, and the facial features. And then you can see one of the guy in the passenger seat. He's got a turban. He's pretending like, yo, I'm innocent and shit. Like he knows he's fucking fried. But if he can lie his way out of this, if he can like, weasel his way out of this, look at me, I'm just an innocent bystander. I didn't know he had a firearm in the vehicle. And to anybody out there in a situation like this, like you're in the passenger seat and the driver has a firearm, I highly suggest you get out of the car right away. Right away. Don't eat, like you don't have to whatever put your life in danger and snitch on him or whatever, but like again, like if you're in a vehicle with a person like this, you need to get the fuck out of it. But that's what I'm getting at, right? Like okay, like I used to go to downtown Toronto a lot when I was younger by myself, and if I were to take a percentage about the amount of times I went downtown Toronto with people versus by myself. It's something like 70-30. So I went a bunch of times with friends and this and that, right? But like most of the times, I would 70% of the time, I'll be going downtown by myself, right? And I bring this up because you kind of when you're out of a grouping of people, a mixture of people, like you're not setting like a trend. Like I'm down here with like my brown friends. I'm down here with my white friends. I'm down here with my Caribbean, West Indian friends, and like some of them are black, some of them are brown. You know what I mean? Like a mix, right? Like I'm just here by myself, and you get to observe how people interact. Like how guys, they come and they're all excited, and then they all try to size up other men, and like the behaviors, and like the way that they talk to girls and this and that. And like I'm a guy myself. I very much fall under some of these mannerisms categories, etc. Right? But what I will say is, after a while, it becomes woefully obvious. Going downtown, you have to have three things in your favor. One, you have to be decent at dancing. Two, you have to have a matching BMI. That's right, I said it. Nobody wants to talk about this, but you have to match it. Okay? When you see a thin girl, when you see a skinny girl, right? And you think you're a skinny guy, no, you have to match the BMI. You have to match it. They know it. You don't, they do. They can see the glycogen off in between the layers of your epidermis. Girls be like that. Okay, no, for real, like what I'm saying is, like, you can be going to the club and you look like you don't exercise. Okay, just gonna throw that out there. But I mean, you know what I mean. But I've seen like people of all sizes having fun in clubs. So like I guess that's just like a thing for single insecure people like myself. For insecure single people like myself, yeah, that applies. Okay, for everybody else, if you're not insecure, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean, you look good no matter what. And last, but certainly not least, if you can't leave the drama that you brought with you from your high school, not high school, that's from college and shit. Right? So college, university, your work, the streets, dealing, this, that. If you can't leave that out of the club, you don't get, like most of the times, right? You don't get to succeed in life, right? Like you have to go every single time there. You can talk about your issues, your problems, your this, your that, right? But if you become too depressing, if you become one of those people who just wants to vent all your problems on a stranger, and I've been that person before. It annoys them. I know what it's like to annoy people like that. And you're like, hey, shut the fuck up, stop talking to me. I want to go dance now. I want to talk to this girl. Retard. Have a nice life. Depressing moron stuff. Lay off the fucking drugs. All right, right? Like everybody has to do, like has to get themselves into the whole idea of like having a goal and reaching that goal, at least towards, I'd say, 1, 2 o'clock. If by 2 o'clock you haven't met someone and started talking to them, the chances of you doing that have almost dropped to, I'd say, like 5-10%. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. And like obviously there's like scenarios where the clubs would open after hours, and like maybe what I'm saying right now does not apply fully, but and I've been to clubs like that before, right? And I'm just gonna speak generally about like the whole clubbing scene right now. So what I'm seeing is, um, I don't know the exact street, but it's like in the whole Spadina Richmond area, where it's the hub of downtown Toronto, and the car is being stopped, right? Cop has two cops, and they both have their hands on their guns, and they're pointing it at the driver. And the driver doesn't want to stop, and then more cops come over, and it's like something like four cops, two on each side of like two on the driver's side, two on the passenger side, and then another three cops come from behind, like on one on bike, and then another two, right? So it's like seven total. And wow, that was not a pretty sight to see. And I bet the Sikhs, they don't want you to see that either. Oh man, they really don't want you to see that one. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
And I just, went over, like I heard about it, and I just started watching this video topic about the mass stabbing in Walmart. And I know I'm bouncing between, all these different instances, but like I guess the takeaway from this one, right? As I'm watching this YouTube video by Holion Noir, um, he said that this maniac, this guy stabbed, like randomly stabbed a bunch of people. He stabbed the girl in her back, and then pushed her, and she hit her head. Okay, she's okay, thankfully, but all that for what? Over a stranger and a girl, no less. And then another report. I hope I'm wrong about this because this sounds fucking awful. Like a person got stabbed in the eye. This is kind of what we live in, And what stopped this maniac? Well, I think he was trying to flee, or he was just like confronted in the parking lot. And I see the video, and a man with a gun, you know, stopped him, apprehended him. Can you imagine the cowardice? Like, you're gonna go up to someone randomly and stab him in the eye, and you're telling me you're too much of a bitch now to take a bullet? So what about that person and their eye? They're not gonna get their eye back. What the fuck? This is caught off. Like, sometimes, you look at movies and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's this. That's not real life. you know, like, and that's the contrast that I'm trying to get at, right? Because, okay, a lot of people who I rewatched the video clip, the raw video clip on that was posted in the City TV channel, YouTube channel, and it obviously cut away before you see the plates. You know what the plates are gonna say. It's gonna say Peel Region. It's gonna say Brampton. You know what I mean? Might even have their little sikh symbol on it. The the insurance fraud symbol. The symbol of your truck is gonna get crashed or crash into something or kill people, and then you say you're sorry, just like constantly. And speaking of which, so, and again, I'm gonna bounce from topic to topic, but it's like whatever, right? So, that lady from the Target store, huh? Yeah. So she didn't do anything. What did she do? She's gonna pay for it. And it's that kind of mental retarded detachment where not only beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of a crime, but it's like, why would you make yourself that guilty? Like, okay, beyond the fact that you said that you took over $500, you also right, like, I don't know how to say this. Like, you also started using, your daughter's ID. You started trying to scam them to their face, and only when you had no other option that you chose that, let me pay for it, let me this. And I'm thinking in my head, right? She's an immigrant. Maybe she had the money to pay. Let's see if she can just pay for the stuff, get out of the store. She's banned, whatever, get lost. You're like a weirdo, you know what I mean? And then it's just another day, right? Um, it's that kind of thing where, okay, if the other Sikhs in the passenger seat and in the back seat were guilty, they had fingerprints on that gun, if they whatever, they probably wouldn't be having their hands sticking up and stuff. And I'm not trying to falsely assume guilt on them or something. It's just I'm trying to point this out. It's one of those things where when you're dealing with these packies, you have to always remember that they don't want to feel any culpability to anything that they do. They feel as long as they hold the maintain the scenario where they're in the right, or it's racist to accuse them or this or that. Like they're in perpetual um, freedom. Like they possess the same rights as you. They'll exercise their rights. They'll abuse your rights. Like they'll piss you off. They'll harass you as long as they are seen in the eyes of the media, society as innocent. And I want you all, people who casually watch my YouTube channel, whether behind the VPN or not, I want you all to remember the cops are not going to protect you. The cops have to get a vote from the Sikhs, and a lot of cops themselves, they are Sikhs, and they know all too well, Canada and the UK, about the child grooming problem. Because, again, like in the past, there were many pedophile poachers, as they call themselves, like people who would actively go around and just pull a Chris Hansen, for lack of lack of a better term. Yeah, let me drink something. That looks a little dry. And now you don't see them videos no more at all. Like you just can't see them. And even when they tried to restart them back up in America and stuff, like whatever, you're more free over there. Like no, YouTube wants to protect these so-called marginalized groups, even though they're millions of shit. They're all fucking inbreds. Like one of those things where, like, why would you care about a marginalized group of people if they're inbreeding? So that means they're never going to truly diminish. Like how they say like white people are getting replaced and stuff. Like yeah, that doesn't apply to the Punjabis. It doesn't apply to them. They be going through their cousins, their family members just like hooking up for them and stuff. Like literally, they get hooked up with their family members. And like, dude, the way, right? Like, when they arrested this guy, obviously they were pissed off and stuff because this guy hit a bike, he hit a car, he could have hit some people. And the only reason that you're seeing this video is because he didn't hit anybody when he was backing out. So the reason why this guy be pulling a gun downtown, doing this fuckboy shit, is because he knows that without that gun, he ain't shit, my guy. He ain't shit. What is the car that he's driving in? You know what I mean? It got none of them like tints on it. It got nothing. He's like, yo, he has to like get the whole pedophile starter pack. You know what I mean? You gotta getting the predator type of apparel and stuff. He's lacking. He's chilling in his parents' car. He got his piece. He got a piece in his parents' car. His two passenger homies. I guarantee you, they're also international students and shit. Just like, yo, man, it's what it is, my guy, and what it is. But that's them, not me. Have a nice day.